I'm usually the one that does the research, or I'll come up with some linear type of design, and they can go for it, or I'll come up with the customs and traditions, and they normally come up with the design process. I like to do ohe kapala or bamboo stamping. It's very abstract, and it's more tied to a story.
I like to cut. I use an X-Acto knife and I cut into amberlith, a film that we use to make silkscreen. I still cut. I've been cutting for 30 years, but cutting allows me to incise that image with an edge, just like how that image would be carved out of an ohe kapala. In the old days, the Hawaiians used a shark tooth to cut into that bamboo. So it's kind of like a parallel right now. And so my design is in that ohe kapala format of the shark tooth.
The name of my design is called Kaialupe. It refers to how there is a sea of kites in the sky that actually was the constellation of which they went to the south, or we went when we traveled to the south. And we refer to migration as the coming of the sharks. So with each shark that came, and there were 9 sharks, it came waves of migration.
The name of my design for Ito is Uluhoku, and it's based off of ohe kapala, or a symbolic bamboo format of stars and their constellations. The creative process for that design came from an image that I saw at one of the workshops that I went to in Ke'o, and it was an image of a galaxy, and I immediately thought, like, wow, that'd be interesting to try and capture something as organic as a galaxy into a format that is somewhat traditional, like ohe kapala. So I played around with it in my head, and I tried to come up with it, and it's looking pretty good, if I may say so.
Usually my son, he does it on the computer better than he does it on the bamboo.
Kind of scary now because like everything has gone digital. There's no film anymore. Like Kodachrome disappeared. Same thing, amberlith is now disappearing. They've stopped production. The major producer of that film doesn't make it anymore just because there's not that demand. Everyone has gone digital, so they don't need this. But I have a few hundred yards left, and I hope that it'll last me as long as I can cut. I hand cut every design, and then I give it to him to scan, and then he starts to play around with it. So in that transition from what he brings to the table is today.
If somebody has something limited that I didn't get yet, start making some calls right away. Got to make some calls, got to try to get that piece. I think for me, as for designing for Sig Zane Designs, we try and serve that same fuel. I got something that is exclusive to myself. If I go out to whatever other company, even if it is for Inter Island Terminal or for Kix Hawaii, I want to get that feeling that is exclusive to me. At the same time, I want to serve that same feeling at Sig Zane Designs.
It's usually the 3 of us that sort of bounce off each other and come up with these kind of concepts. Normally, we like to remain individual, so it becomes a talk fest.